Do you need me to give you audio so you can hear? You got it?
And you have this one as well? Yeah. Can I get each of you guys with the labs to just give us a quick sound check? Just say your name.
My name.
Sparky.
Keep going.
Two-tone.
Two-tone's good. Sean, yeah, keep going.
Arash. Probably turn this down.
Scruffy.
Brandon.
Sparky.
Got them all? Okay, perfect. You guys are ready? Mike, the floor is yours. I hope you had enough time in the 30 seconds I gave you to prepare for this.
Nope, mine went completely blank. Well, welcome everybody. In the spirit of content creation, I've been asked at the absolute last minute to introduce this panel, of which I'm not a part, but I am a content creator myself. So welcome on in. This is basically, the title of this is Content Creation, kind of why we stream. And so we're going to be hearing from a number of creators from big to small that why we do what we do, and it's a lot of fun. So it's my pleasure to introduce Joel from Flights with Joel. We have Robin Murphy from Two Tone Murphy. We have Mr. Arash, Captain Arash. We have Bill, who is known as Scruffy Tam. We have Brandon, who is Pilot Stud, and Sparky.
Sparky who is Sparky.
Sparky was Sparky, pilot. So welcome on everybody, and are you approaching me for a reason? Nope. Okay. Got it. All right, that's it. With that, I'm going to turn it over to them, and welcome on in.
All right, cool. So thank you guys. I don't know if I should stand up. Should we stand up when we talk?
It's very relaxing sitting down.
Yeah, no, I
very
agree.
intimate.
I agree. That's right. It is. So I wanted to welcome everybody. This was, I wish I could say this was my brainchild, but it wasn't. One of my viewers gave me this idea of creating this panel of streamers just to talk about content creation because like a lot of us, we didn't know to begin with what we were doing. And so we thought, there would be some people here who may be interested in content creation. So we kind of put this panel together so we could talk about, what inspires us to stream. And hopefully we'll have about 5 minutes to talk, each one of us. And then I want to have time for Q&A from you guys. And also, so a lot of us are live on our own streams right now. And we'll take Q&A from our streams and from the guys in the back too. Okay, so I guess we'll start from my right with Flights with Joel.
No!
Yeah, man.
Hey, is there a bleep key?
I'll do it for you.
Wait, where's Simon Cowell at with the button?
So I'm Flights with Joel. I'm still, seems like a new streamer, but I've been streaming for a while. But the size of the stream looks like I'm a new streamer. And I was inspired by, I was a YouTube creator for a long time, still am. And really I was inspired by people, the interaction of people on Twitch and being able to have people around, and also actually by the guy right here to my right. Left!
There's no one there, Joel.
Big inspiration right here watching Two Tone and thinking like an idiot, I could do that.
It works.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, I'm Murph, Two-Tone Murphy. I started making content creation for flight simulators back in with X-Plane. The inspiration I had at the time was watching, the likes of the QA pilot, Thomas Rasmussen. They made these really good movies, put decent soundtrack to it, and you're just sitting there creating this epic action scene of a plane taking off or something landing. I was like, that's cool, I want to do that. And so that's what I started with, and made a couple of videos and one view, me. Maybe 2 views using the phone and the PC. Yes, there's 2 views. But by learning the craft, editing, and trying to make things work, I eventually built it up to a live stream. And a live stream for me is incredible because it's, as Joel said, it's the interaction with people. You're just chatting with people. You're sharing your thoughts and opinions with someone else, and we're all here for the same reason. Our hobby or our passion, it is that of aviation, but it's then the tech side. It's with the platforms. It's with the social aspects that we have. And I'm streaming now for 3 years. I still don't know what I'm doing. I break things all the time, constantly getting in trouble. But it's so much fun because it is that sort of inclusive thing. There's people who will focus on a live streaming perspective because they want that inclusion. Or there's people who do the detailed videos, the on-demand videos. And it's actually great because we have a great balance here, even on this panel today, between streamers and folks doing the pre-recorded content, as it were. So yeah, that's what I do, and I absolutely love it. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Awesome. Yeah, you do a great job at it too.
Thanks very much.
So my name is Arash. The community knows me as Captain Arash. I do streaming, and I mean, what inspires me, why I do it. I can put it into two different categories. One of them is that I love to learn and teach. Basically, I've been always been fascinated by aviation. Since I was a little kid. My dad was senior manager of avionics division of an airline. And so aviation talk, I mean, talking about airplanes was a common occurrence in our household. So I had this spark from like when I was a little kid. And I was always wanted to learn everything about airplanes. And not only airplanes, everything about science, like physics, math, all nerdy stuff, So when I grew older, I started basically getting this feeling that I actually like to transfer or like pass forward what I've learned to other people. I really enjoy that, like when I learn something and pass it forward to other people or teach. I don't know if I can call it teaching, but
It's teaching.
It's teaching for you.
Yeah, 7 hours worth.
we get to that.
Sorry.
But yeah, so I wanted to actually try this because I had seen like people streaming and I really wanted to try it. But on the other hand, I was an extremely shy person. I couldn't even imagine being like in front of a crowd like this 3 years ago. People probably wouldn't believe me in the community because they've seen me on the stream, but streaming has changed my personality entirely. So I wanted to try it, but I had a hard time to go on camera, and but eventually I did it. During the pandemic, I actually started it. I had like my OG fans, my partner, and my cat. So, and then my mom started joining in, and then from there it started.
He's here, by the way.
And then it started from a small community, and it grew into an international, like truly an international crowd of people, like from all over the world, like every corner of the world. And that is one of the biggest driving forces. And the other thing I mentioned, international community. As you can hear, like English is not my second language, it's obvious. And that was one of the main reasons I was a shy person when I wanted to talk in front of English-speaking people. And so that changed me, being more comfortable with myself. Also, what I've noticed that, sorry, I keep going.
Let's go.
What I've noticed that a lot of my long-time followers, they are non-English speakers, and I think they join my streams because they feel the connection. Mm-hmm. They see, oh, look at this, like there's a non-English speaker, I mean natively, mm-hmm. And because let's face it, like there is the flight sim, it's very English dominant, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Mostly. And when they see that, I think they feel the connection and they join my streams. And because that's a struggle, right? There's an entire world out there who have the same passion, they have the same interest in aviation, but they have this barrier, the language barrier. They cannot communicate well, probably. So that's why I feel the connection with them, and they feel connection with me. There are people who try to join my streams using VPN because of the sanctions it's imposed on them. People have financial issues. Like I know people that they go through third-party payment methods in order to subscribe to my channel. I know a few people that have they had to save like months and months in order to be able to afford to buy Microsoft Flight Simulator because because of the exchange rate, it makes it extremely expensive for them. But I feel no one has elected me to be their voice, but I feel like the obligation to be their voice, to just bring it up. I hope that I can make a small change to make it more widespread outside of North America and EU, basically. These are the two important things that are driving force for me.
That's awesome. So for me, my full-time job, I'm an automotive technology instructor at a community college, so I'm used to talking to students and stuff. But what I see from my students on a daily basis is they're hurting. They need a friend. They've got stuff going on in their real life. And I know that translates a lot of times to our viewers. And what I see in our viewers is a lot of times they just don't have friends in real life. And they're looking for somebody they can relate to or somebody that likes what they like. And so I've kind of built this community of accepting everybody. I don't care who you are or what you believe or anything like that. I've got my own personal beliefs, but I want you to come into my channel and be comfortable and just be yourself and feel accepted and be who you are. So what inspired me to stream was actually my students. I'm 54 years old and not your typical age streamer, or at least I didn't envision myself being a streamer. But one day I was watching one of my students watching someone else play a video game and asked him what he was doing. He said, "Oh, I'm watching so-and-so on Twitch." And so I asked him, what is this? "Oh, I watch people play video games." And I just thought, that is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard of. Yeah, here I am. But I've been a gamer my whole life. So I was playing a Nintendo game at the time on my little Switch. And so I said, I'm going to look and see if someone's playing this game and get some tips, and I was hooked on Twitch. So after about a year of watching, I said, this is something I want to do. And for a year, I was a variety streamer, and then I got hooked on Microsoft Flight Sim. And I'm probably the newest simmer on this whole panel. Been doing it just a year and a half, but I love it. I love the community. And so that's my drive. I just love people. And if I can change one person's life through, something I say or just being supportive of them, then, goal made.
Yeah, it's great to hear, Bill. So, hi guys, I'm Brandon. Some of you may know me as Pilot Stud. I might just say Stud is my last name. I'm not cocky, so there's nothing. Thought I'd clear that up. I always get that in the comments. It's relentless, so I'm not changing my last name.
And you're from Alabama, right?
Yeah. So I've been flight simming for about 6 or 7 years now. I started off, like many of you probably did if you're slightly younger. I think I was on a little iPad playing like X-Plane Mobile or whatever it was called back then. I used to love the Vision Jet, so it's the one you could get for free and pull on the parachute, probably when it didn't need to be pulled, but there we go. In terms of me, I'm a YouTuber, so I think I'm sort of the odd one out here. I don't really stream. I have done occasionally, but yeah. My channel, I think we're at about 26,000 subscribers now, so there's many of you all over the world, and it just blows me away every time I hear it. So what I do, Microsoft Flight Sim news, add-ons, reviews, it's so confusing nowadays. There's so much stuff out there, and I try and make it sort of as helpful as possible, If there's something new out, I try and cover it as quickly as possible and try and bring as much information there as possible, and quite clearly some guys do like that. In terms of why I do it, I want to be a pilot when I'm older, so I'm currently doing my flight training, and that's something YouTube has let me do, It's got me into a new job at an airport local to me, helping out with some of their marketing, doing some videos, so it's just incredible. And I remember starting YouTube three or so years ago now, and getting to 100 subscribers took a good few months. And every single one of those people, 26,000 of them, have all made such a massive impact on my life. And I'm only 19, so I've got, I'm over here, and this is my first time in the USA, for example. First time on a 777, first proper long-haul flight. So, plenty of firsts. And that's all thanks to YouTube. So that's what pushes me on. Something like that, it's just incredible. And I'm sort of lost for words here. I know about 40 or 50 of them are watching right now online. So cheers, guys. Hi there. Hope you're all well. Just personal thank you to you all. Microsoft Flight Sim, I started on Flight Sim X then moved on to X-Plane 11 while on my phone as well, on X-Plane Mobile, on my iPad back then. Microsoft Flight Sim came along and just obviously, like it has done with simulation as a whole, they caused my channel to explode. I was getting thousands of subscribers a month. So yeah, just crazy really, and that's what inspires me, just how many people we can connect across the world. America's actually where most of my audience is. I think 45 or 50% of my viewers are American, and then of course UK, and then India, Australia, New Zealand, a lot of English-speaking countries, but not just there. And I try and bring as much information as possible, I said. So I hope you guys enjoy today's seminar. I look forward to hearing about all you guys as well.
All right, I have a tough act to follow. These 5 people here. My name is Haley. I am known otherwise as Sparky Pilot 86 on Twitch, and I just go by Sparky in my day-to-day life, so just call me Sparky. Wow, how am I here? Is my thought. I've been involved in aviation in general since early 2022. I got my first simulator in October of 2022 and started streaming in November of 2022, so I'm probably the newest streamer on the platform. And what brought me to streaming was, well, I guess what brought me to Flight Sim was I was getting ready to take my check ride for my pilot's license, and a coworker of mine is a commercial pilot, and he said, well, once you get a Flight Sim, it will be really enjoyable and helpful. So I did, and I didn't know what to do with it because it was so hard to land airplanes in it the first time. It felt so awkward. So I just started looking around and found Twitch, and I thought, oh, it'd be really fun to stream. And I had a chance to watch some really, really amazing streamers, Scruffy, Allison Johnson, and a few others, and kind of had a chance to try it out, and I'm so glad that I tried streaming out, because what I found is streaming and interacting with people really helped me to forget my own problems and issues and just connect with other people in a common interest and leave the world behind and fully focus in the sim. Like that is what made me enjoy sim so much. And so I stream with my 2 cats, Whiskey and Tango. If you've ever seen my stream, you know about those 2 little psychos. They're so cute, but so bad. And I just enjoy streaming to experience new things. I enjoy streaming to go over flights I'm going to do in real life, or flights I have done in real life, or flights my friends have done in real life. I could go on and on. It's just such a meaningful thing to me to get to do, and then to be invited to come and sit with this panel has been inspiring too, to help me get my stream. What's the word? The nerves are taking my words. I almost never get nervous in front of crowds, and now I'm for once in my life nervous in front of a crowd. It's too bad. But I have just enjoyed the journey so much, and I've met some really amazing people, and I've enjoyed the opportunity to share my own experience going through flight training in real life, getting my pilot's license, what that's all like. Been able to share that with others a lot and connect with people on that level too. So yeah, I think that's all my brain has to say about this right now. I'm sure when we talk more, we'll get more out.
Oh, yeah.
That's
awesome.
an intro to me.
Awesome opening comments. So we still have a lot of time to go. Let's take a question. Anyone have any questions in the audience? Go ahead, Marco.
Tell us about your socks. No. But the pronoun I and the word socks are banned for 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. So on my channel, one of the things you can do is ban a word in real life. So it's kind of a joke, and someone said, hey, when you're on the panel, if we ban the word I just said it.
One strike.
Will you stick to that? And I said, yes, for 1 or 2 sentences, that will happen. So Marco just banned that word, and what I'm wearing on my feet. So yeah, on my channel, in real life, I always wear crazy mismatched sock coverings. Oh, sock coverings, foot coverings, jeez. And I said, see, that's why it's so fun, because I always forget, and I say that word. So one thing me always does in real life is wears crazy mismatched foot coverings. And so that's, Scruffy actually has a camera that points to his foot covering, so you can request that the camera be turned on. I'm probably blushing right now because it sounds weird. I promise you, it's really not. It's really not.
So weird.
So, what other questions for someone else? Oh, perfect.
This is George. It's a newbie. And so a couple of related questions. One is, so what is Twitch versus what is Discord versus et cetera, et cetera? And then if I were to try to join one of these communities, it kind of feels like there's going to be a lot of inside jokes I'm not going to get at first. And how do I engage comfortably?
Gotcha. Murph, you want to start with that one? Or?
Yeah, like it's okay. So any community you might stumble across, if you start with like how to access the content, right? So Twitch or YouTube, that's kind of like your broadcasting platforms. That's where you're going to tune in and see things live or see the video. That's where the streams or the videos take place. Discord is more for the community or social connection, message boards or forums, this kind of stuff. And I think, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere. I mean, you'll find a community or you'll find a content creator that'll just have that vibe. We're like, yeah, this is my kind of place. You know, it lasts about 2 weeks and then we'll mess it up, right?
Right.
But you will find someone, right, that you'll be happy to say, yeah, I like the style and I want to get involved here. I think we all utilize Discord. It's for us, it's incredible because it's access to us and it's access to the community when you're not live streaming. Meaning it's a daily, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. And to get that sort of connection, if you like, with a community, it's amazing. It's incredible, you know. So I think just find the community you're happy with, and you got to start off somewhere. I mean, a lot of the time people will come in. I have isms. They're called Murphisms. I just create words for the crack, just to say Ash or AJH, or you put Aj on the end of every word, just to see what happens. And then you hear people saying this stuff, you know? Yeah, we want to do fly Aj. What? So there's all this that goes on. But you know, as you spend time with that community, and it's not just one or two people. There's lots of people. They help you along. You kind of learn stuff, and you figure it out over time. Like there's no instant button. Right, that's it. I've all the history of this community. It's just like a social thing. You got to learn to get to know the people. They get to know you, and yeah, that's it's fun. Every community. I mean, I'm part of all your guys' communities. I hang out there, you know. So it's a lot of fun.
And I have found that streamers, and I think everyone on the panel will say this, when we first started streaming, we had no clue what we were doing. I know you mentioned that.
100%.
It was a struggle.
What do you mean when we started out?
But most streamers are more than willing to help you get started. It's not like we're all competing against each other or anything. A lot of the people in our communities are in everyone's, you know, on this panel's communities for the most part. So everyone's willing to help. Most streamers that you'll come across are more than willing to help you out and, you know, get started.
Yeah, jump right in. Absolutely. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Just say anyone that is thinking of joining, you know, Twitch or YouTube, it's really just a matter of, you know, jumping in to the stream if you're going to come in as a viewer or even as a streamer. There's always an introduction period. Every time I join a new stream, I get to know people that come in there regularly. And then you find out you just have so much in common with people. Even if you're very different otherwise, you're coming together on a common topic. And then you're exchanging messages back and forth, and all of a sudden 2 hours have gone by and you've been stuck on a stream, you know. That's not always ideal, but sometimes that's what we need, you know, to just get absorbed in a community. So I would just invite anyone. Don't let it intimidate you. It can be intimidating, you know, to go into a place where people know each other already, but that's how we grow as people too. So, you know, believe it or not, yes, you can grow as a human on the internet. So give it a try.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say that there's a very unique aspect about the flight sim community, especially at least on Twitch, which I'm more familiar with. It's extremely welcoming. If you compare it with, I mean, we know that online world can be sometimes, you know, can go to the negative side sometimes, but it's very rarely rarely happens in the flight sim community. At least that's been my experience. Like if you don't know anything, if it's like internal joke, if it's like a technical thing, everybody would love to share it with you, let you know.
And just to close on that, like it's when it comes to flight simulation or aviation, it's so different than other games or other communities on Twitch or YouTube. We are a very laid-back, easygoing community. It's remarkable when you see it. Even content creators, where usually we'd be putting the elbows out and say, "No, I'm talking to you." We don't do that. We try and help each other out because we all share this space, right? We all share this hobby, and that's what makes the flight simulation side of the thing just incredible.
It is awesome. Do you have anything to say, Brandon?
Yeah, I think just with flight sim in general, it's already been touched upon, but you can find someone flying on the other side of the world and you'll instantly bond over something, whether that be you're an Airbus lover, Boeing lover. You might argue about it, but at the end of the day, we all love it. So there's that shared passion for flight that can connect people across the world, and I don't think you could get that anywhere else, really. So it's a really wonderful thing.
I had one comment on
Yeah,
that.
go ahead,
For
Joe.
new people joining, if you're going to join Twitch especially, the main thing is if you could create a username I could read.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Thank you.
And that's actually funny because I've got a question from my Twitch channel. I'm live streaming it right now. So a viewer, his name is Disco Stew. I don't watch I'm stuttering. I don't watch The Simpsons, so I had no idea who Disco Stew was. So I read this guy's name is Discostu, and for a long time.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So for a long time, I'm calling him Discostu, and it's funny. So he's got a question, and he says, "Question from Discostu." So how long did it take? How long did it take us to learn to configure and use a lot of streaming tools like OBS? And that's a very good question.
Still learning.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
every
big
update it
learning curve.
does.
And just so I've been streaming now for 2.5 years, which is crazy. That time has flown by. I had a hard drive failure a couple of months ago, lost everything, and I'm still trying to build OBS back. So it's intimidating, but you don't have to have everything perfect from the start. Just start if you want to start. That's it. Just get started, and you will learn. People will help you. Hey, I can't hear you good. Your music's too loud. The game's too loud.
Yep.
Whatever. People will help you, and don't take it as criticism. Some people will be condescending with that. Just let them go. But most people are very helpful with those issues.
Yeah.
I've actually seen that on other streams that when you make a comment about the sound or something, they get kind of offended. Like, this is how I've been streaming for 20 years. Well,
Right.
no, it isn't.
Yeah.
The same thing with OBS. It is, it's very deep. It's deeper than we need. I learned to use it. I really didn't like it before I was streaming. I still don't really like it, but it's free, and the amount of tools they put in there for nothing is amazing. But it also makes it very difficult to keep up with and keep learning and add things. But once you get used to it, I started very trimmed down, and so I used OBS to put the stream out, and then started adding what they call panels, which are the things around our stream, start adding sounds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now I have maybe a quarter of what Two-Tone has on his.
Well, it's like starting out, anyone who's interested in getting into the content creation side, because it is a lot of fun. And we're kind of testament to it. If we can do it, you can do it. There's no science to it, right? My own advice would be, you have all these programs, all different names, OBS and whatever else. They're just the vehicles that are going to launch what you want to show to the world. That's all they are. Well, as Scruffy had said, you don't spend the next 12 months, planning what it is you're going to do. Start. Just get the ball rolling. The most important thing I could recommend for anyone starting off on this, it's your audio. You have to have clear audio.
Yeah.
If you don't, the viewer, they can't hear you, right? And whatever about having, bad lighting or bad cameras or whatever, that's fine. If your audio isn't 100%, you're making it, you hear of easy listening. Well, this is difficult listening, and it's very hard to follow that, And then once you kind of get the audio sorted and, you've your people in there, Now you start adding in, and the more you add in, like the more it'll break, right? But you can add in,
Yes, this is true.
get your lighting, or you know what I mean, get your cameras in. But anyone at all who's interested, it's if you spend your initial time, audio, just get the audio, and it doesn't have to be hundreds of dollars worth of microphones or amplifiers, nothing like that at all. There's enough content on YouTube to get you started. Like I mean, that's how we got it. And then like when we're helping each other out, we're like saying, how'd you sound like that? Well, remember this video? Well, tweak this file. Oh yeah, and that's what we do. So it's just the audio, and then go bananas. It's great.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I've used OBS to record my videos, so not even for streaming, you can record on those as well. And it's really quite, once you sort it out, it's quite easy to use. You literally just press a button and it saves the file somewhere. But it is sorting it out that can be the difficult bit. But as I've all said, go on YouTube, there's plenty of tutorials on there. We've got a question in one of my chats. It says, how would you be able to get started in content creation? Just some tips.
Just start, like really, and if I may, I don't mean, I probably just drilled right over you.
That's fine. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, you will honestly never be completely ready in your mind to do it. You just need to do it. That's step one of content creating. Step two is to crack a beer and just relax and go with it. To be honest, so that's what I have to say. Just go with it. It'll morph.
Yeah, I started on YouTube.
I want it.
Yeah. I started on YouTube making videos. I don't think I even talked over them. I just made videos with the simulator software, or just with GeForce.
Did you say software?
With the software. But yeah, literally, I mean, no one watched them, but
I did. I watched them.
You didn't even know I have a YouTube channel. Yeah, and I think when I started on Twitch, I was using a $29 Bose headset with a microphone. I'm pretty sure that's how I started. And the amazing thing was that was an okay microphone. It was just good enough. But I immediately bought something better before too long. So, yeah.
Sky Command has something to say.
Hi, my name is Sky. I'm the audio specialist here at the entire Expo. So is it on switch?
Are you sure you want to admit that?
Yeah. Wow.
Pull up a chair and come join us.
Can you share your favorite memory of Sky? No. In order of importance. No, the second thing is, what would you say about the word consistency when it comes to streaming?
Ooh. So, people ask me all the time, what do I need to do to grow my channel? First thing is, this drives me nuts when someone is a new streamer and they don't talk. When you're just playing the game or whatever and you don't talk, y'all, if you're gonna start streaming, you gotta talk like there's 100 or 200 people in there. Talk to yourself, it's very awkward, very awkward. Getting used to hearing yourself talk is very awkward, but you just gotta do it. But talk like you've got 100 people in there. It takes some getting used to, because here's what's gonna happen. By the time, if you're watching your viewer count, and I recommend you don't do that, but if you're watching your viewer count, you're gonna see that number change to a 2, and then you're gonna welcome them, but by that time, if you haven't already talked, they've come in there, didn't hear anything, and they're gone. So talk like you've got 100 people in there. And then when someone comes in, they'll say, hey, this guy's engaging, and they'll chat. They may not chat, but just keep on talking, and it'll eventually get there. So someone else jump into.
That's a good point. I'm gonna think about that, talking. Explain with Joel if anyone wants to follow. I used to tell people get a camera and be on screen, and I don't really think that's true anymore. It depends on your personality and different things. I've seen some very successful streamers, or a successful streamer, who doesn't go on camera. And if you're talking, it's not that important. But I mean, these guys are really pros at engaging with chat. That's a big one. It's, when people come in and you haven't seen anything, you got to kind of watch your chat even when it's blank. If there's nothing there, which in the beginning there's nothing, then if somebody pops in, say hello. Tell them.
know, like when it comes to consistency, it's not just about the type of content you want to do. If it's going to be general aviation, if it's going to be focused on the airliners, or maybe you're looking at different types of flying, right? Consistency is important if you're trying to grow anything, a brand or a product or a channel. Your consistency is going to be your timeline. You just pick a date and show up on that date and that time. So if you're going to say, I'm going to pick one day a week, that's just the only day I'm going to stream, and it's going to be Wednesday, at 1900 time, whatever it is, you stick to that, because then people know when to find you again. If you're not sticking to a schedule or you're changing your times, well, someone will say, yeah, I saw a really good stream, but I don't know where they're gone. So if you show up every week, or however busy you want your own schedule, I mean, you get to choose that, right? Always show up at the time you have to be. And if you can't, you make sure you're telling people as to why you can't. But it's like the old story, like, what time is the 9 o'clock news on it?
Exactly, that's what I was about to say, yeah.
Right. So,
I mean, if you have your favorite, and we got a question in just a second. If you've got your favorite TV show, right, and it comes on at this time, but all of a sudden they say, well, we're just going to we're just going to broadcast this TV show whenever we have time, then, they're going to lose a lot of viewers, right? So, yes, you have to stick to a regular schedule. A regular schedule, says the guy who hadn't done that in a little while. All right, yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Gabriel from Fullerton. My question is, what are your thoughts on starting soon screens?
the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
What's really going on behind there?
That song from last night.
Right?
What did he ask? Student streams?
What's our starting soon?
Starting soon. Your
Students?
intro. Your intro.
Oh,
Oh,
intros. What are our thoughts on intros?
Yeah.
I think it's important to have it. What I find is when I do have a little bit of an intro, it lets people come in the chat and start interacting. It lets me say, hey, watch the cats while I get the rest of my sim set up, or that, because I have my desk set up for my job, and then I have to literally change computers, change all the plugins to the actual computer I stream off of and sim off of. But I think starting students are a nice way for me as a streamer to get in the mindset of it. If I start a stream cold, it's kind of awkward for me to get started. But if I have a nice intro, say hi to people, watch people come in, maybe play some music that you enjoy, it can make it more enjoyable. And then when I have watched other streamers stream, I always enjoy the getting started, because then I know it's like, all right, everyone gather around and we're going to do this.
Yeah, I think that's 1,000% true. I mean, that's how I prep, is when I'm sitting there, and also because I haven't gotten myself to stop watching the counter, but it goes from 0, to sometimes 11 by the time you start in that intro. It gives people a chance to come in, and even, I've had people raid during the intro, and it can be something that really gets the stream going by the time you come in. I know it is with Two Tone. I know from the time his intro starts to when he comes on, there's a lot going on.
Well, you can imagine, say there was no one else in this room and only us up here, and one person walks in, we're all going to say, hey, how's it going? Welcome in. And then someone else comes in, hey, how's it going? Welcome. So the idea is, rather than saying hey to everyone on a one-to-one basis, or someone's, hey, what are we doing tonight? Yeah, we're going flying here. And then someone else comes in, hey, what are we doing tonight? We're going flying here. And then someone else comes in, hey, how's it going? How are you? So it's the idea is of an intro. It's nothing more than an opportunity from a streamer to get ready, right? We're doing whatever we need to do. A couple of push-ups and, fixing the eyebrows.
Top of the hair.
Top of the hair, right? But it's our chance to make sure that the tech is working, right? Yeah. So we can see that, the stream is live, the bandwidth is good, it's a stable stream. That's what we're testing. You try and make it entertaining. Get some music in there. Kind of set the scene if you can. Some people might have a screenshot. They could have slideshows. Others might just have the sim warming up and just change the color of it a little bit. And then, after you're a couple of minutes in, some intros go on for ages, and I'm probably up there. It's like, will you come on, will you?
Yours are great, though.
But it takes ages, right? Now, that's grand for me, though. It's like somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes. So yeah, if you ever ramble into one of my streams and it's 2 minutes, just hang on in there.
I think that's sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think that's a great segue to this question from my chat. 3Shy is asking, how do you, because you mentioned entertaining, how do you approach the problem of remaining entertaining while flying. In general, flight simulation streams are entertaining only during the takeoff and landing phases of flight, but throughout other phases, it's such a challenge to remain entertaining. How do you overcome that? Well, if I may ask that first, and then we can go. Somewhat true, yes. I try to intentionally keep my flights shorter. Yes, it can happen, like when you have a longer flight, when you're cruising. However, it depends on the nature of your flight. I love to do old school navigation, and that never becomes boring, especially if I'm doing celestial navigation. Shout out to Celestial Navigator, who is in the chat. It is extremely busy if you do that kind of flight. But yes, like if you follow the magenta line, it can get boring. But what do you do?
I break things. It's
We know what you're doing.
you could be flying really well, and it's like, hey, there's a bridge. Oh, there's a bridge. Can we get under it? I don't know. Let's you know. But you have fun flying. It's Kermit Weeks said it, right? It's not about the destination. It's about getting there, right? That's what the whole thing is all about. And yes, the takeoffs and the landings. I mean, they're the most popular, right? Is it going to mess up? Is it going to be good? But during the stream, that's where I find that's where the chat, the viewers, that's where everything kind of links together then, because now you have your couple of minutes to say, hey, what's happening? How are you keeping? You know, any news? And someone brings up a debatable topic, and it's great fun because the flight simming is almost a byproduct of what the entire experience is. It's like, oh yeah, we're actually flying. Oh yeah, I forgot we were flying this plane there. I've done this so many times and I've crashed as well. It'd be like in the middle of a conversation, it's like, pull up there, Murph. What? Why is the chat saying pull up? Ah! But that's what's amazing about the whole thing, because we're just having a conversation and chatting and having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
I would say you also need 2 cats to make the intermediate stream part be good. They provide entertainment. What I also like to do in between, takeoff and landing, I fly exclusively GA in X-plane. So GA is it can be a little more active in the meantime than some of the airliner stuff is. But what I really enjoy doing also, since I am involved in aviation in the real world too, is it's a neat opportunity to talk about something that's interesting that has happened in aviation. Another thing that I really love to do is I try to fly in a network like VATSIM or Pilot Edge as much as I can. And what that can provide opportunities to do also is to listen into what all the other pilots are doing, and then you can commentate a little bit on it and say, hey, well, what do we, chat? What do you guys know about this type of approach? Or, hey, have you ever done what this pilot is doing? Or what do you think about what that controller just said? Do you know what he meant or she meant? So it's an opportunity also to kind of dive deeper into what you're doing, so that so that your viewers can have a deeper understanding, because many of them want to learn about aviation a lot. Like, they're there. We're all here for flight sim, and we're all here for aviation. And so, as a streamer, we can take the opportunity to help share with them things we've learned or what we know, and also to learn from other pilots. I've learned plenty of things from real world pilots in my stream, and people that are just expert in sim. So it's another opportunity.
I got to be honest here. Sometimes my stream is boring. All right.
No,
I've got
it's
some
not.
good advice from Two-Tone Murphy when he's been on stream, from Oh Can Do. I've heard him give this advice where, if you really aren't up for it, just cancel your stream. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm not really up for it, and I do it anyway. And then it can get boring, but you never know when that bridge could come along. There could be a bridge. I mean, one of the big ways I keep it interesting is I fly helicopters. That gets interesting real fast because they're hard to fly. Another thing is I literally did this, not this panel, but came here to add to the experience, to find out more about flight simulation and to shake it up a little bit. And the stream last night of the presentations was huge. People were really into that. So that's something that I do, is I try and do different things sometimes. Bring someone on the stream, or go to a flight sim expo, or just do, or try and do IFR navigate. Well, I haven't done that yet. The last year I did the approach to Oshkosh, which is happening in a couple of weeks. If anyone wants to do that on the sim, it's absolutely crazy. I don't know if you'll learn a lot, but you'll have fun.
So I'm getting the look from Evan that some.
That was a good question, that's all.
Yeah, but really quick, I just wanted to say we are running short on time. We got 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Afterwards, if you didn't get asked a question, we're all going to be here unless you have something else to do. I mean, we'll be here. If we're not in the room, we'll be around. So just stop us and ask us. We're all very approachable.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh yes, of course.
I kind of challenge that question as well. Like, if it gets boring, remember we had a flight together?
Yes.
How many hours did you spend
So
on the ground?
I wanted to learn to fly the 737, PMBG 737 800. The first leg of my flight here, actually. So I got Captain Ross. We did a co-stream. We were on the ground 7 hours as he was teaching me.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
But for a 32-minute flight. After
You
it was
must
over,
work for American Airlines.
after it was over, I was shocked at my viewer count. I had a higher viewer count than I've had in a long time from that. So
That's good.
people are hungry to learn these things. And that's it was really cool. It was an amazing stream.
I had a blast. Like, I loved it. I didn't even realize. Like, it's 7 hours.
It's like 2 a.m. I think.
It
my
was like
time
that.
is 2 a.m.
It's
my
just
time.
Unbelievable. I loved it.
Joey Bolo's got a question.
I was going to introduce myself.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Joey Bolo, y'all give him a hand. He's a streamer too.
I was going to open this up as, hi, Joey Bolo 77.
Oh, sorry, I stole your thunder.
But yeah, I have a two-part question. Actually, well, three, because we're running out of time. So one is, how important has it been for you as streamers to have a support system, whether it's mods, family? How has that gotten you through the actual journey of being a content creator? And then two, wow, what was the other question? Okay, the silly one was thoughts on pineapple on pizza.
Oh my gosh.
Where is the special
And
man?
then,
Yes to that.
okay, I think, yeah, the serious question, sorry. I would like to hear each of your thoughts on the future of flight simulation and just virtual aviation.
Good question.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Brandon,
happy to
jump in
start
there.
off. Yeah, in terms of support system, well, as a YouTuber, if I'm covering Microsoft Flight Sim News, there's going to be times where it could come out just before I'm going to bed, or it can come out when my family's having dinner downstairs. So luckily, my family are really accommodating for it most of the time anyway. So I remember when the Concorde came out, I actually wanted to do a long stream going transatlantic. And my little sister, bless her, I was on the stream and she runs in screaming and then grabs my yoke. Oh. So, yeah, but aside from that, my family, great support. And, I've got a few mods and there's guys in my Discord, admins and whatever. And, without them, there would be no YouTube channel because they're so important to me and it really is appreciated. I'm all for pineapple pizza, by the way. I love it, just saying. But yeah, I hope I didn't offend anyone there. Yeah.
All right, so anyone else have some input
Oh, I wanted to
about
definitely-
the future?
Oh, about the future.
Yeah, no, about that and about the
Well,
future.
the support, I have a very small support community, and it's crucial. There are people that have been flying every flight for 2 years. It just blows my mind. They show up every time, no matter what kind of idiot thing. Even if I'm trying to fly an F-35 and it takes me almost an hour to get in the air, which, they're helicopter pilots. I was shocked. But also the support from everyone. I wanted to thank this FS Expo and Microsoft Flight Simulator and all of the streamers here and all of the streamers who are in the audience. The streamer support is huge. People have kept my stream going just by showing up with 20, 30, 100 people and doing a raid. That's massive. I don't think I'd be streaming without the port. Oh, and I wanted to introduce my beautiful wife Heidi in case I miss doing that when I'm walking around the floor. Thank you.
So sometimes we assume people understand terminology, and so one of the things that I've heard a couple times is raids. So if you don't know what a raid is, after you're through streaming, a really good way to help grow your channel, this is something I learned, is you take your community and you pass that on to another streamer who's live. Some people just end their streams, and when you do that, you miss an opportunity to let people know, hey, I'm a streamer. So it's rude if you're a streamer and you're in someone else's stream and you're like, I'm a streamer, come follow me or whatever. That's just rude, okay? But you can raid somebody and let them, not only them, but their whole community know, hey, I'm a streamer. And so that's a really good way when you start out streaming to grow your channel. My recommendation, and I know I'm kind of side railing this thing just a little bit, which I'm known to do, is don't raid, if you've got 10 viewers or less, don't raid someone that's got 300 people because you're going to get lost in the chat. It's moving so fast they're not going to see you. Raid someone that's like 5 or 10 viewers more than you, or the same size as you or smaller is typically what I do. And then once you hit 50 or so followers, go hit a big person with that raid. They'll appreciate it, and you'll get your name out there really well too. The future of aviation, and we got another question back there too. Future of aviation, or flight simming. I'm excited. I'm excited about Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and seeing where it goes.
Just to jump in on that, like it's for anyone here who's interested in content creation, like the news that we got from Microsoft, a further installment of that simulator 2024. We know what X-Plane are doing with X-Plane 12. We know what Infinite Flight are doing. It is the golden age of flight simulation. It's been said before, but we're still in it. So if you're thinking about getting involved on the content creation side, the future is bright. There's a lot of things happening. We've so many options now. Again, with what Microsoft are doing, they're adding an entirely new way to fly with 2024 missions and this career mode thing. I mean, you can find your niche within the niche within the niche. I mean, there's so much choice now. So if anyone's thinking about it and you think, oh look, there's so many streamers already, like there's no room. There's always room. There's tons of room. The internet is massive, right? It's like Texas is nothing compared to it. but don't think that all the content is taken up. It's absolutely not. It's only starting and it's growing. So now is a great time to get involved in it.
All right, let's go ahead and take. We got time for another question.
Just a quick comment from Discord over there.
Oh, cool.
He said, Nicholas said, I'm kind of late to the game, but did we see the stocks yet?
Oh, yes. I don't know where the camera's right there. No, you're not going to be able to see them.
Here, too.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about the socks, y'all. I am wearing them, though.
Hey, thank y'all very much. Mine is not so much a question, more of an encouragement. This hobby of ours is phenomenal, but it's so many contents, creations, and products that are being merged together, whether it be the flight, and the flight controls or the software, whatever the case may be. So one of the things I encourage you guys to do, and I'm sure you guys find it more than probably us because you're doing it more, share your experiences as you troubleshoot the problems that you run into. Because one of the biggest problems I have as a flight simmer is I spend more time troubleshooting than I do flight simming, and it's just because there's so many different products that you're trying to merge together. So beyond just the actual flight streaming and whatnot, if you could share your experiences that you run into and troubleshooting to make sure all this stuff works, I know it would help a lot of us, mainly me.
That's a good point. Yes.
Mark, I think I heard you say you're a real.
I'm sorry, one right here. Yeah, it's going to get your mic. That's okay.
All right, question first. Sparky, I think I heard you say you're a real-world pilot.
Yes.
Do you find that through flight simulation, does that help you with your flows, and can you take those flows and apply those to your real-world aircraft in training that you fly?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that question. That's a really great question. I'll try to be brief about it. I want to just quickly touch back on one thing, though. We were talking about moderation and channel support. I have an amazing group of, they're pretty much like right here, the X-Plane crowd. All these folks, I can't stream without them. Like they have helped me so much. So I want to thank anyone that's helped me, and I think we all feel the same way about our core group of people that help us slog through some of this stuff. Real world flying and simulation. They are, when yielded properly, you're gonna really be able to help yourself in real world flight. there are, many things about flight sim and real world flying is not the same. You cannot, on a takeoff roll, you can't feel the elevator stiffen up on a takeoff roll in the sim. You just can't. But what you can do is you can be precise about your checklist. You can be precise about your procedures in the sim. You can be on top of your communications. You can have situational awareness in the sim. You can train your aeronautical decision making in the sim. And I experienced, after I took my check ride, a 2-month period of time where I couldn't fly because of weather and life and changing jobs and all this stuff. But I was very consistent in sim during that time. And when I got back in the plane, yeah, sure, I needed to go around once or twice. Not a big deal. That's what we do. But my comms were on top of it. My checklists were on top of it. My situational awareness was on top of it. Everything was there. Because flying is about so much more than your motor skills, your physical motor skills. It's very, very much in your head. And so you can use the sim to train yourself to have a flying brain. You can train your flying brain through the sim very effectively, I think. That's been my experience anyway. I'm not sure these guys.
Yeah, I'd follow on for that as a student pilot at the little 152, which I really love flying, a little Tim Pop. But flight simulation as a training tool, very, very powerful if used correctly. It's been touched on, of course, but I remember when I first started learning to fly, I was always staring at the instruments, just like you would in a flight sim. I wasn't really looking outside. Yeah. Look outside. My instructor would bollock me all the time for basically just, staring at the DI and whatever. But on the other side of that, flight simulation, incredibly powerful. Flying circuits, for example, at a new airport you've never flown into. Microsoft Flight Sim's fantastic for this. You'll notice a patch of trees that are there in real life to follow by to turn past. You'll notice someone's farm, not to fly over to avoid waking them up and get your noise complaint. It is so powerful if used correctly, and I think Microsoft Flight Sim, especially in terms of VFR flying, give it a go. If you're learning to fly in the area you're planning to fly in real life, and you will see as soon as you get up there, you'll go, wow, this is so close to what I've just been doing, and it is a really crazy experience.
And real quick, we all know that if the 757 pilot gets in trouble, we can jump in there and land the
So it's the biggest dream of all of the flight simmers, right?
It's kind of terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
There's got to be like a T-shirt under your T-shirt that that moment comes and it's like flight simmer.
You can land this thing with an Xbox controller.
Got a question for you from the online audience. Firstly, Eric Flight says hi to all you.
Hello.
And Rod Taylor, we talked a little bit about intros, but what do you guys think about greeting people at the beginning of the stream? Is it really necessary? Some streamers that I've watched just seem to go on and on, greeting, and it's like, let's get on with it already.
Evan, really quick, when does this end?
You got about 2 minutes, so maybe that one, unless there's anything else from the audience, I think we can wrap up after that one.
Okay, so I'm probably the guy that they're talking about. So for me, again, people come to your channel because they need a friend or they're just looking for community or whatever. I don't care how long I sit there and talk to chat. And I realize that's not for everybody, and that's cool. That's perfectly fine, but I'm there to interact with chat, and I say to my chat all the time, I may not be the best pilot in the world. I'm not. I still learn all the time, and I may crash or do a horrible landing or whatever, but I'm going to focus on my community, on the chat. So I may not be the best pilot or whatever, but then someone else give me some input.
100%. Like my guys have timers. They put it into the chat. They'll put in an exclamation point and like 30 or 60, 80. So that's what happens, right? And you think, well, yeah, it is accurate, but again, I don't know what it is. It's this medium, right? It's live streaming, it's broadcasting. It's not like watching a TV show where it's like, okay, this needs to be edited. I just need to see the action. I mean, that's where your YouTube content comes in, right? Yeah. People are taking the trouble to come in and hang out with you. Of course, you're going to say hi. How was your day, right? And most people might just say hi. It's a simple hi. And it gets into kind of the technical things you talk about, like having a camera there. If you're able to look into a camera and say someone's name, it's way more powerful than just saying hey. You know what I mean? Like there's all these ways to engage with it, but we kind of share the same passion here. It's people come into your channel and we just want to ask you about your day. Are you having fun? Can we help? How's my hair?
In all fairness, I mean, he has a lot of people when his channel starts.
Does it
There's a
feel?
lot of
Does it feel?
people
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say hi to. I have a lot of people literally sitting there with their VR goggles on, going, "Let's go!"
And I like to find a way to make the VR goggles people have to chat too, just to take them off. Post in chat, how you feeling today?
So
All right,
there's-
so we're good.
we have
Like we're done,
one
or we got time?
more question.
Okay, yeah, we got to wrap things up. Okay, so I just wanted to, on behalf of everybody, and y'all can say thank you too, but thank y'all so much. And again, we'll be around. Stop and talk to us. I mean, I'd love to meet you guys. And if you have any questions, I'm here for you. I mean, help us ask us.
Thank you guys.